of course, if you're here, you want to win everything. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is. But of course, we know that Champions League is something that for us as a team, we want to do it together. And I feel like that is the missing piece.
Hello and welcome to We Are Chelsea, the podcast for the Chelsea women's team. I'm Kaz Demores, and part of the reason for doing this podcast is to inspire the next generation of players, but also give you all an insight into what it takes to reach the very top. We're going to find out how it all started with the biggest stars from the Chelsea team, their origin stories, what inspired them to get into the game, and what setbacks they've had to overcome along the way. And our guest today is midfielder and Swedish international, Johanna Kaneryd. Well, Johanna, hello and welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited that you're on because we're going to delve into a little bit about how you got into football, your journey so far, and then how you found things at Chelsea. But first of all, for all the viewers listening, I just want to make sure that I'm getting your name right. Johanna Kaneryd.
Wow. Really impressive.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Okay, very good. I try and get names correct. So
love it.
I'm pleased. Can you set the scene for me? Where are you recording from in Cobham?
So we're at the cottage in the training ground.
Nice. Okay, well, let's hope that the cottage's connection is good for us for this podcast.
Yeah, hopefully it is.
When you moved to Chelsea in 2022, what was your impression of the facilities and the grounds?
I mean, first time I came here before I signed, it was like, wow, everything was super big, much bigger than I thought it would be. I don't know how many pitches there is here, but I mean, it's a few, and everything was just super professional. Yeah, I got a really good first impression.
Well, we're going to talk about Chelsea a little bit later on, but firstly, I want to talk about how it all started for you, and I want to take you back to a very young Johanna in Sweden. Whereabouts did you grow up? Paint the picture. What was it like? What were you like as a little Todd?
Yeah, so it all started in Kolsva. It's a small little village where I'm from. I think it's like around 3,000 people living there. So we lived in this house with my mom and my dad, and then, my twin brother and I always went outside. We had like a football pitch outside our house. So
you're a twin?
Yeah, I have a twin brother.
I did not know you were a twin.
No one knows that, actually. So yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and then, it all started there. Basically, we were outside playing football from a very young age, and my dad was playing football at that time as well, and my mom, I think she was playing, not like super on a professional level, but they were playing for fun. And then, we were there every day. I loved it since I was a kid, and then I started to train at, I think I was 5 years old. My dad was the coach, and me and my twin brother, played in the same team. So it was me and the boys.
Nice.
I loved it since the beginning.
And did you play with the boys because of your brother or because of maybe the lack of a girls' team? Was there many opportunities for girls to get into football at that time when you grew up?
Not really. Also because I'm from a really small village, it's hard to get a team of 15, 20 girls. So I mean, in that age, I think we were around 3-4 girls playing with the boys team, and then when you came up to a certain age, you could start to have a group of girls with different ages. But I played with the boys for a long time, actually.
Were you ever a little bit competitive with your brother?
Oh yeah, every time. I think it was not easy, but like either for him or for me. We were, of course, he's always been like my best friend, but on the pitch, we have our fights, of course.
I always find that with siblings, but then I imagine with a twin, it's even more because you're kind of direct. You know, you grow up going, oh, who walked first? Who talked first? Who did this first? So I imagine it must be quite a strange or a different perspective to those of us that
definitely
aren't twins.
Especially like I was always quicker and like faster than him, but then when we came up to a certain age, he started to get like quicker, stronger, and I hated that.
Yeah, I bet. Tell us about the first team that you played for as a junior, and what was it like?
So I played for Kolsva IF, where I'm from, and of course we are, like I said, it's a really small village, so everyone knows everyone, and it was, when I look back to it, I'm super happy that I grew up there, because it was just wonderful playing football. Football was like the biggest thing. Somehow the community, everyone came together somehow, and I really loved it. We weren't the best, but we had a really good group of people and good coaches. You need that especially when you're a kid. I'm super happy about that. And I think I turned, maybe around 10, 11. I was getting better and better. And I think, I had to look for a new challenge. So I went to a team called Forsby FF, which is like the bigger city. It's 20 minutes from where I'm from. So I started to play with a girls team that is 2 year old. Yeah, maybe 2 years older than I was at that time. And then around 12, I started to play with the women's team in Division 2. So it was me and my mom's friends, basically. So, it was a challenge, but I loved it.
I love that. You and your mum's friend, just brilliant.
It was me and all the older girls.
You touched on the fact that you were much quicker than your brother, but what were you like as a player in those early years? Was it the speed that you remember? Yeah,
definitely the speed. I always been loving to run with the ball. I've always been pretty fast. So that's all I've been doing, running with the ball, dribbling, working a lot with like my touches with my dad. I remember he always had the ball and then he just kicked it as high as he could. And then I was just supposed to take it down on one touch. So stuff like that, it's like something you can see now as well. Of course, that's like one of the biggest strengths I have right now. It's my speed and my 1v1. So I think it's definitely from how much I trained like that as a kid.
Who were your footballing idols when you were growing up in Sweden?
I mean, if you're from Sweden, you always look for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, not because we're similar at all, but he was just, I remember one goal he scored against Ajax when he did like 5 of the same, when he pretended to shoot, and then he used kind of a Cruyff thing. So I still remember that goal. I don't know how many times I've been looking at that. But Zlatan is another level for sure.
I know. Obviously, you touched on the fact that you were playing with your mum's friends when you were just a teen or just before you were preteen. At what point did you realise that you were good enough and that you could make this your profession?
Good question. I don't really know, actually. I think I always know that I love football and I want to become the best, and I always been really competitive. If you compare to all the other kids in my class, for example, I was always the stubborn one that always wanted to win. It wouldn't matter what kind of thing we did. I think I always knew that I had it in me. And of course, when I was 15 years old and got the opportunity to go to Tyresö FF to play with all the stars, Marta and Caroline Seger, Christian Press, all of these stars. That's when I knew that, this is actually my path.
Well, my next question, I probably know the answer to it, because you said your dad coached your team, you played with your twin brother on the team, and then later on you played with your mum's friends. But I guess my next question was going to be, what support have you had from your family or friends along the way? Is there anything that I don't know, because they sound very supportive?
They are, for sure. My whole family have been super supportive since the beginning of my football career, and especially my dad and I have had a special relationship. We've been talking for I don't know how many hours. He still do it, calls me when he's on his way back from his work. So we always talk for 1 hour, and it's been super important for me in my career. And like moving from home when I'm 15 years old, of course, it wasn't easy to be away from from your family. And I know I wouldn't be anywhere without them. They have been so supportive, and the fact that they let me go when I was 50, let me go sounds so dramatic, but that let me move when I was 50 years old, that says a lot. So you need that to you need those people in your life if you want to succeed.
Is that something that you still hold close? You still speak to your dad, you still speak to your parents before or after a big game? Do they come and try and watch as many of your big games as they can? And your brother, is your brother still active in sport, in football? Does he play for a hobby? Is he very supportive?
Yeah, everyone is. My mom is here now, actually. So she watched the game yesterday. And they come here a few times. My brother has been here the most, I think. We talk a lot. And he's still into football, but more for fun. But of course, it's really nice to know that they are watching my games and they love it. And I know that's like their biggest, they're looking forward for that every week, the game day. So, it's super fun. And of course I talk a lot before and after the games, but it's especially my boyfriend. He is a professional footballer as well. And my mental coach, both, sending me those voice messages before a game. And also like, after the games, and my dad as well. We talk a lot after every game.
Now, I want to ask about whether you remember signing your first professional contract. What was that like when you realised you've actually made it now? You are a professional footballer.
I mean, I wouldn't say like my first professional contract was when I was 15 years old and I played for Tirsa. But I wouldn't say that's like my biggest memory. I think my biggest memory is when I signed for Chelsea. And that's when I but like, okay, I'm on a good way on my journey right now. And I feel like that step coming here was the biggest in my career. And that's when I actually could look back and be proud of what I've been like achieving so far.
Nice. I mean, I do really want to get to Chelsea, but before that, there's still a few more steps. And I want to ask about setbacks, because football is, or any sport really, is a journey of ups and downs. And I want to know about some setbacks that you've had along the way. One that sticks out to me is just the ACL injuries, which are such a big topic in women's game at the moment. And you yourself experienced that back in 2018. Can you tell me a little bit about what that was like? Any other setbacks that you've had to cope through, and I guess how you persevere through the mental and physical challenges? Yeah,
it's actually 2 ACLs I've been through, and 2 meniscus as well. So I think 3 years of my career is I've missed so far. So of course it's not easy. It's a part of football. I did my first ACL when I was 16 years old. Of course, when you're young, you need people around you. And luckily I had that, both my family and friends who could support me, but also people who you trust, who you knows what they are doing. And I think that was my biggest what I needed was people around me who I actually trust. And I had one physio in the national team who helped me during my whole career, and she's been probably the most important person in my life. And then of course it's not going to be easy. For me, it's always been clear what I want, and it's I want to play football. And sometimes that can also be frustrating when you want too much because your body doesn't react on the best way. So it's about patience and working hard. For me, I find a hobby in like the gym. So now that's one of my I love going to the gym, do strength training and focusing on my upper body and stuff like that. So I think it's super important to find those kind of stuff that when you can't be out on the pitch with your teammates, find something else to get some kind of competitive, set up goals. Okay, can you do 3 pull-ups? Perfect. Next time I'm gonna do 4. Stuff like that. That worked for me at least.
I love that. You touched on the national team. I want to ask you about the Swedish national team. How much do you enjoy playing for your country? And what did it feel like when you first got the call up?
Of course, it's a special feeling playing for a national team. It's a proud moment. I still remember my first call up, and it was probably the best day of my life. I really enjoy playing for the national team, and it's a group of really good girls there. So I'm enjoying every minute, and of course I've been able to play a few tournaments now, which is always something special as well. So I really like playing for a national team.
What age were you when you got the first call up?
It was probably around 17, maybe 18. It was straight before I got injured, so I think I was around 18 or something.
And do you have a favorite moment in a Sweden shirt?
It must be the World Cup. It was something special playing for Sweden in this World Cup in Australia last year. I think, the whole tournament was amazing.
Now, you've spent most of your career so far playing in Sweden, but let's talk about the move to Chelsea. How did it come about? You were at BK Häcken at the time. At what point did you realise that Chelsea were interested?
I knew for a few months that Chelsea was interested, and then obviously we played the Euros. I knew they were watching my games, and we had the communication, or my agent and Chelsea had that communication. I was just focusing on playing the Euros, and straight after we lost against England with 4-0, like everyone probably remember, I got a call from my agent saying that, okay, now it's done. So it was just like coming home 2 days, and then after the Euros, I pretty much signed straight away.
You talked about how much it meant to you to move to Chelsea because that was your defining moment when you thought, okay, my career's on a good path. But what made you want to move to Chelsea? What is it about Chelsea as a football club? I
mean, as soon as Chelsea showed some interest of me, it was pretty clear for me. Like, a club like Chelsea, you can't say no to. I mean, it's been one of the best teams in the world for ages, I feel like. And it's just a special feeling. I don't know, for me, I didn't even doubt it. So, I mean, I felt like I was ready to take the next step in my career. Felt like I was really enjoying it at BK Häcken, and had 2 really good years there. But you come to a point where you feel like you need the next step. So it was the perfect timing for me to come here. And obviously, like I said, I never doubted it.
How did you find those first training sessions right at the beginning? And what was it like actually coming here compared to your expectations of what you thought? What was the reality versus the fantasy like? And was it a big adjustment? You're moving to a new country and settling into London.
Yeah, it definitely was. Of course, I knew, I got some kind of info from Magda, who played for the team at that time, and Zechira. So I knew that it was a tough environment to be in, and of course it was challenging. It was different from what I was used to, both the tempo, the physical part, pretty much everything. But I feel like I learned a lot, and I really had to be patient because not everything can come in once. So I wouldn't say like it's not until now, actually, I feel like I'm, I can get out more of myself and actually, be myself.
Well, obviously you mentioned Magda, but was there anyone else who you clicked with when you first got here?
Yeah, a few of the girls, like everyone is wonderful here. But I knew Magda and Zechira from before, and obviously Pernille as well. And then, I mean, pretty much everyone. Erin Cuthbert is, she's so funny. Beth England, who was at the club at that point, we also clicked from the beginning. It's a few of the girls that I really see become like my friends even when the football career is over.
What were the challenges in that first season?
Yeah, I mean, it's about, like I said, the patience is probably my biggest challenge, because I want so much and I want to play every game, and obviously in the beginning, it's about learning the new environment, and it's gonna take time. So for me, the patience was definitely the hardest part of it. When I look back to it now, I can see that it was a clear plan. I've heard it before, like it takes 1 year to come into this environment, and it obviously did for me. So it's most about the mental part for me, because I know I can play football. It's more about trust myself, build up my confidence, everything like that.
Well, talking of confidence, I feel like your confidence has to have grown since arriving, and by the end of that first season, you should have been feeling very confident because you won the league and the FA Cup in the first year of being here. It's not a bad first season achievements-wise.
Not really. I was talking to my dad about it the other day. I mean, it's a very successful year. And of course, I'm super happy that we won all of that. It's nothing you like expect, or of course you know what the standards is here, but still it's not easy. It's challenging, and I'm just super happy that I was a part of it.
What can you tell us about Emma's impact on you since you arrived at the club?
Yeah, she's been probably like the biggest impact in my football career so far. I mean, it's something special about her. She really sees you for who you are, and with me, she's always been very clear with what kind of player she sees me as. And then, of course, it's about learning in the beginning. And when I look back, like last year, I can really see myself. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm the player I am today. She's been super important to me, and I really enjoyed every minute working with her.
I think every Chelsea fan, I think every football fan would love to know what Emma's team talks are like. Give me an insight. What is she like when she gives you a team talk?
I mean, I can't really explain it, because I don't know how she does it, but somehow she always found this like, stuff to the right thing to say, motivational, like, she just knows exactly what to say in the right moment, and I don't know how she does it, but somehow she managed to do it, and you can see like all the girls are sitting like with their eyes open, and it's like fire in the eyes. It's special to have her as a coach.
What have been some of your favourite moments in a Chelsea shirt so far?
Oh, it's a few. Of course, one of the like biggest memories that comes up in my head straight away is the game against Lyon at Stamford Bridge last year, when Maren scored the penalty in the last second, and then obviously we won on the penalty shootout. Yeah, that one is one of those I will remember for the rest of my life. And also winning the league, winning the FA Cup. And we had a few games now. Both Man United at Stamford Bridge and Arsenal have been amazing. It's a few games I really looking back to and feel proud.
I'm always interested when we have foreign players come to play in the UK. Have the team, or maybe the coach, how do they explain to you guys how important the FA Cup is, especially to, I guess, the fans? Yeah, that's one of the first things I heard when I joined this club, that the FA Cup is something special. And you could really tell. I mean, last year the final was something I've never experienced before, as like you don't really understand that until you come here and you actually see it yourself. So it really was something special. Touching on the fans, how have they supported you during your time in blue, and do you think that the Chelsea fans have something special that you haven't experienced before? Definitely, the fans have been here since day one, and for me, I think my first game at Kings Meadow was like, wow, okay, because I didn't know like how big the arena was and how many fans
was going to come. But still, even if it isn't like the biggest arena, it's still something special playing at Kings Meadow, and the fans make it special because the atmosphere there is just amazing. And obviously, like playing at Stamford Bridge is, something different. And I mean, so far they've been amazing. And we have a few of them that is, it doesn't matter where we play. If we play in Amsterdam or if we play in, against Liverpool, they are always there. And you can always count on them.
In front of a crowd of 32,000, what was it like when you walked out? Were you expecting that? Was, again, the reality and the fantasy, did it match up? What kind of buzz does it give you? Is there pressure? Paint the picture for me. It
definitely gives you that extra motivation. I mean, when you walk out there and you can just hear everyone, even on the warm-up, you could feel the atmosphere. Like, it was music, everyone was dancing, everyone was screaming. It was, it was so loud. And as a player, you love that. So for me, of course, I always give my 100%. But for the fans, it's like 101% because, you want to give something back. And I definitely felt that against Arsenal. Like, everyone is here to watch us. And we do this together.
But so you must be that kind of player, because I think that was one of the things that I found so interesting in COVID. When there were no fans, there were some players that you clearly saw thrived. And actually, I thought, oh, you're playing much better. So I think it must be on an individual level. Would you say that you're someone who much prefers playing in front of a big crowd?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I grow with that. I feel like I get that extra fire from the fans. Of course, I love that. But maybe not everyone do that. But for me, it's pretty obvious.
And how important is the Champions League to you guys this year, and the idea of giving Emma that final send-off, the missing piece to the puzzle?
Yeah, it's super important. Both for Emma, we want to, of course, win that with her. Also for us as a team, we want to do it together. And I feel like that is the missing piece. So, we're super motivated about it. And of course, if you're here, you want to win everything. Doesn't matter what kind of game it is. But of course, we know that Champions League is something that we haven't won so far.
You've talked about your mindset being, I set little goals, whether it's 4 pull-ups today and then 5 pull-ups tomorrow. What are the goals that you've set yourself this season?
This season was pretty clear for me to make more assists and score more goals. That was one of the biggest things I was talking about before the season started. And then obviously, as the season went on, it's also about being as fresh as I can. When I'm a player like I am, I need to be fresh. I can't not be that and then expect myself to be on the level I know I can be. So I think so far I've been feeling very good. Been feeling like I get a lot out of my play and my style of playing. So I'm really enjoying it at the moment.
I guess my next question is going to be on the mental side of the game and how important the mental strength is. And do you have any, I guess, rituals or anything that you do to keep your mind in check?
I'm trying to. I'm one of those players who go off the pitch and see the bad things I did. I was much worse like years ago. You kind of need to let that go. And the best thing about playing football is that you get a new chance. If you do a bad game, you get a new chance next game. And now we play every third day, kind of, and I think that helps a lot. I'm still frustrated about a situation yesterday against Ajax, which is so silly because I shouldn't be thinking about that, but it's still why didn't I take the touch, my touch better, and actually it was a moment to score. But I'm really trying to focusing on next game and what I can do different. But it's a challenge for me. It's the mental thing is the biggest thing in football. When you're confident and you feel like you're in good shape, you can fly. You can do basically, whatever you feel like doing. But it's so easy to fall back and feel the different and feel like you don't trust yourself. But that's something I've been trying to work a lot with, and especially with my boyfriend, having him as mental coach helps me a lot to talk about. And sometimes you don't want to talk about it all. So, but it's super important to not, focus too much about what you did wrong.
Absolutely. Are you a big visualizer? I know a lot of players talk about visualizing things, but then others don't really do that. Are you someone who likes to visualize before games or after games? Or
I think I do that a lot, actually. I trying to visualize how I'm running on the wing and how I'm trying to see myself doing my 1v1 to finish do a good finish or whatever. As soon as I go out on the pitch, I don't think about that at all. I'm just going with the flow and do what I feel like. So it's more about you want to be the best version of yourself every game, and sometimes you can't, and sometimes you can. So it's a hard part of football.
And do you talk to yourself when you're on the pitch? Because I spoke to Fran last week, and it was quite interesting because she was saying, I talk to myself all the time, and if I have a bad touch, then I'm like, you really messed that up, don't mess up this one. And she was like giving me an insight into how she talks to herself, which was super interesting. Are you someone who does the same?
Not maybe on her level, but I'm laughing because I can really see that. I think I've heard that as well. But definitely, especially if I do something bad, I'm like, okay, come on now, let's focus now, you can't do that again. Like saying that to myself. A funny thing for me, it's like a way to make it a little bit easier to focus on the next thing instead of be sad or be. Of course, I'm better when I'm angry. So I mean, it's good to get. I am. I don't know why, but I get really. We call it in Sweden. We call it like eld i röven, which is like fire in your ass, basically. So that's when you run. When you run, you can see like the fire behind you. That's When I have that, people know that I'm. People who know me, they know that I'm angry.
Johanna, thank you so much for speaking to me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know that you need to shoot off, so I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much to everyone for listening. And remember, just a little admin, if you want to send in your questions, we have an email. It's wearechelsea@chelseafc.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to We Are Chelsea. During the course of this series, we will be speaking in depth to more of Chelsea's top players, and we'll also be bringing you all of the post-match reaction to the biggest games with the players themselves. So remember to subscribe, give us a review, and send in your questions to wearechelsea@chelseafc.com. See you next time.